Hello there, my name is Daniel. I would like to welcome you to my first episode of our Webtalk Legends Motivational Podcast. And I thought I'd start this podcast series by reading a passage out of Tony Robbins' book, Awaken, the Giant Within. If you're not familiar with Tony Robbins, Tony is the nation's leader in the science of peak performances. And in this book, he shows his most effective strategies and techniques for mastering your emotions, your body, your relationships, finances, and your life. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and read this first few paragraphs of this book, and I'll be stopping momentarily to give my thoughts on what he writes. So here we go. We all have dreams. We all want to believe deep down in our souls that we have a special gift and that we can make a difference, and that we touch others in a special way, and that we can make the world a better place. And at one time in our lives, we all had a vision for the quality of life that we desire and deserve. Very important, deserve. Yet for many of us, those dreams have become so shrouded in the frustrations and routines of daily life that we no longer even make an effort to accomplish them. For far too many, the dream has dissipated, and with it, so has the will to shape our destinies. Many have lost that sense of certainty that creates the winner's edge. And my life's quest has been to restore the dream and make it real, to get each of us to remember and use the unlimited power that lies sleeping within us all. And I firmly believe that we each have a certain amount of unlimited potential. It's unlimited, but we're only willing to use so much, and many of us let it go to waste. And I'll never forget the day it really hit me that I was truly living my dream. I was flying my jet helicopter from a business meeting in Los Angeles, traveling to Orange County on the way to one of my seminars. And as I flew over the city of Glendale, I suddenly recognized a large building, stopped a helicopter, and hovered above it. As I looked down, I realized that this was the building I worked in as a janitor a mere 12 years ago. So before Tony Robbins was going around the world, around the country, doing seminars and presenting his beliefs and his system to thousands of people at a time, he worked as a janitor. So, anybody from all walks of life has that potential to reach anything that they want to. All they must do is decide that they want it and pursue it with a passion. In those days, I've been considered whether my 1960 Volkswagen would hang together for the 30-minute trip to work. My life had been focused on how I was going to survive. And how many of us are in that same predicament right now? I had felt fearful and alone. But that day, I hovered there in the sky and thought, what a difference a decade can make. So I did have dreams back then, but at that time, it seemed they'd never be realized. Today, though, I've come to believe that all my past failure and frustration were actually laying the foundation for the understandings that have created the new level of living I now enjoy. Okay, and that right there, guys, is let me give a good point to that. Is we usually live a lot of years before we realize what it is that we actually want and who we are in life. And oftentimes throughout history, many of the world's most successful people throughout history didn't accomplish anything significant until they were in their 40s. My favorite example of that is Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln had not accomplished anything significant and recordable until he was well into his 40s. And actually, for him, I believe it took the inspiration of love. And that to me is one of the best inspirations you can drive from. So as I continue my flight south along the casual route, I spotted dolphins playing with the surfers in the waves below. It is a sight that my wife Becky and I treasure as one of life's special gifts. And finally, I reached Irving. Looking below, I was a little disturbed when I saw that off the ramp to my seminar was jammed with bumper to bumper traffic for more than a mile. I thought to myself, boy, I hope whatever else is going on tonight gets started soon so that the people who come to my seminar arrive on time. And you see, even at this point, this is Tony Robbins flying in a what was it, a jet helicopter. So he's already reached a certain level of success, and yet he is already doubting himself in this sentence because he doesn't even believe that all these people are here to see him. He thinks they're there, and they may be in the way for the few that are going to be there to see him. But as I descended to the helipad, I began to see a new picture. Thousands of people being held back by security where I was just about to land. Suddenly, I began to grasp the reality. The traffic jam had been caused by people going to my event. Although we had expected approximately 2,000 attendees, I was facing a crowd of 7,000 in an auditorium that would hold only 5,000. And when I walked into that arena from the landing pad, I was surrounded by hundreds of people who wanted to give me a hug or tell me how my work had positively impacted their lives. So that's another thing right there, guys. You don't know the positive effects that you have on other people. And, a simple smile and a happy wave or a gesture of anything to acknowledge a person can actually change their day, week, possibly even their life. You may be the only person who ever smiled at that person. So take that into consideration when you're out there in your daily life. Spread happiness and spread joy, and that's what's going to come back to you. But this actually leads me to one of my favorite sayings that I like to use because, if you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything. And years ago, when the airplane was being invented and the Wright brothers, they had a dream to fly, the entire world laughed at them. Even the newspapers that they had invited out to see their new invention laughed at them and said there was no way that was even possible. Today, in 2021, the entire world is able to fly because they didn't care that they were getting laughed at and they followed their dreams anyway. So that's it for this episode of the Webtalk Legends Motivations podcast, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.